Hi everyone, welcome back to Schwab!
Yikes.
Phelan, weren't you on the edge of your seat for this one? Oh my god, the promise, the follow-through. Oh,
yeah.
Never seen such a
quickly
wonderful
sweeping
series.
things under the table to get it out of the way. Outstanding.
Before we get into any of this stuff, first of all, wanted to cover, there was a new iTunes review, and if only I had that page up, I could mention who did that. And that is a place that you can go and leave your own 5-star review. Or if you're a Supernatural fan, like 1 star and be like, too many Supernatural jokes for my taste. There was a new 5-star review from Nick Kaminsky, which is nothing but praise for us. Says that we're very easily bingeable. So thank you, Nick. And appreciate more 5-star reviews from people. There's my shilling there. I also wanted to say too, I think like last week when we were talking about the show, it's been a while since we watched Charmed, so like there's a lot of things that do not stay in our minds. So I think we kind of like it went over our heads a little bit. The thing with Abigail when she asks Jordan to find her sister, we have another secret sister.
Right.
Like, how many they keep constantly bringing up secret sisters.
Yeah, and that's how the show started, Secret Sister.
And they already, like, they're blowing through the Rosemary plot. I don't think that's gonna come up again, so that didn't even pay off to anything, the secret sister there.
Right.
And now we're getting another secret sister? Like, who cares?
I'm really invested in Abigail's secret sister.
People were complaining there wasn't enough stuff about the sisters, so you want us to add more sisters to the show? Is that what you... Alright, I guess. Weird thing to want, but okay.
Not that Sister McFly.
Tonight we watch Season 3, Episode 2, Someone's Going to Die.
Whoa.
This has got an 8.7 on IMDb. 23 votes.
8.7.
It's rated higher than the first episode, but it has less votes, so give it time to go down.
Mm-hmm. Whoever rated this high, you gotta be joking.
This is the quickly wrap up stuff from the end of last season portion. I mean, there's still a couple more episodes, as far as I know, that are ending the season 2 arc, but this was definitely
this was pretty much the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, they are setting up. It's possible season 3 is going to be all about this magic storyline, or they're going to wrap that up in the next 2 episodes and then start the next season. Yeah, I hope it's not the plot for the rest of the season, because it'll feel like exactly like last season. They couldn't use magic because their magic was all fucked up, so it was just a boring-ass show about people who couldn't use magic and never spent time together. Yeah. It sucked. I don't want another one about, like, where, oh, well, it saves money on effects if we don't have to do magic. Cool. Why are we watching Charmed?
I don't know. Why are we watching Charmed?
I don't know. Someone held a gun to our head. All right, Phelan. Anything else you want to talk about before we jump into the episode?
Let's get into it. This is a big one.
All right. It's very important.
Death of an icon.
Death of an icon. You know what? It is a little bit sad.
Yeah.
You know what? I would shed a tear if the show was any good. All right, so it's important to note the first shot of the episode is Maggie's awesome nails. She's got some pretty cool blue nails.
Mm-hmm. I like she's like channeling a vision through some pod remains, and it like goes into like the butterfly effect as she's like thinking about this. Like, oh, the Maggie fly effect.
Yeah, I'm glad they had the recap at the beginning, because I wouldn't have fucking remembered what that was. She had to explain it too, because it was hard to tell with the pieces, but it was part of that pod that Harry was kept in when he was captured by the faction and all that.
Yeah.
She's trying to get a vision off of it, and she does, Mel and Macy blunder in their pajamas. What's going on?
Huh? We overslept. Did the episode start?
We were watching the premiere and we fell asleep.
Maggie goes, I can't be very specific. I just need to try and heighten the drama for the episode. Someone's dying.
Yeah. She's like, someone's gonna die today. Don't you love it when they just say the name of the episode? Someone's gonna die.
Wow, Maggie, you want to try again and be, like, more helpful about it? Nah.
She said, I had a view to a kill. Yeah, she had a vision of someone dying, but it's one of those useless visions that isn't helpful, doesn't tell them anything specific. All it is there to, like, be dramatic. And I thought this was going to be silly me. I thought maybe this would be something that meant something. But they didn't really, like, amp it up at all, so I guess, like, I don't know. I thought it would be, like, someone we cared about. Like, maybe they didn't want to be on the show anymore. It's this Galvin situation, like...
Yeah.
In between seasons, they had them for, like, a couple episodes or something. So, your guess last episode was wrong. You thought they were, like, avoiding the safe space and the bunker places because extras and stuff, but...
No,
they're right back
hanging
at
out
it.
there today, in this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's possible it was just whatever they could get away with, because I know it's been kind of like what's the rules have been shifting around, like, about as far as how many people you can have on set and what's going on any production at the moment. So they might have just been at the whims of, you know, the pandemic at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could just be bad writing. Who knows?
We did we did see a fair amount of extras, though, dinking around in the background.
They did have quite a bit. I don't know if it was as many as they would have normally, but there was definitely, like,
pretty normal for what we usually see there, unless there's a big gathering or something. But in normal shots, this seems to be about what we'd see there.
I don't think they were close to the actresses at all, though, were they? They were kind of in the background.
A couple times they seemed a little close. A lot of the time they were kind of far, but there were a couple times.
Did they just quarantine a bunch of extras to, like...
I don't know.
You have to quarantine with the extras because this is the group you're going to be with for this shoot?
Yeah.
Maybe it was, like, each shot was, like, selectively, like, less than 15 people or whatever. Maybe that's what they did so that they could kind of get away with it.
Maybe.
I don't know. Well, anyway, the sisters go to the safe space bunker room, and they go to the tree chamber, their magic tree, and meet with who was that lady? She was like an OG Charmed one? Not like from the OG Charmed ones, but like one of the...
Yes.
Like she was a Charmed one before she died or something.
Yeah, something like
that. Yeah, they go to talk to her.
What's her name? Is it Celeste? No, that's the other one.
No, Celeste is the
drunk old
lady.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the name of this lady was. If they said
exposition
she had a name.
Woman.
Let's see, what are the credits? Do they have the Guardian?
Oh.
She's the Guardian.
Right.
I don't remember if she was a Charmed one or if she just told them about the Charmed ones that were before them.
I thought something like that came up, but I don't remember.
Oh, well.
I know they did bring up that there were other Charmed ones.
Yeah. Everyone knows who we're talking about. That one lady.
Yeah, everyone's favorite. The Guardian.
The Guardian. She spouts off the same stuff they were talking about before. She's like, a new conqueror has risen. Oh my god. And if the conqueror is the payoff of this episode, like, what a letdown. Like,
oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, if that's the conqueror, like, she didn't conquer shit. No one conquered anything.
Yeah.
Is that what that whole prophecy was about? And Harry's like, oh no, I can't be with Macy because we gotta fight the conqueror. Yeah, cool. Cool conqueror battle.
Aunt Viv is pathetic.
Terrible.
Why the hell did you do that?
Okay, so the Guardian tells them if a human touches the black amber in the little well there, it's going to destroy the balance of all magic. And the last time that happened, it brought about the Dark Ages. It's important to remember that because our main characters don't.
Yeah. Like, you'd think this would be something they would keep in mind, but no, not in the slightest.
Immediately goes out of their heads.
Our heroes are the dumbest idiots. Like, I was so mad at the end of this episode because they acted
like, why is no one concerned?
Yeah. They act like, oh, well, everything's fine, la-di-da-da. Like, if I can remember this, and I'm just watching this as a show, this is supposedly your reality. It should be way more important to you.
Can you imagine if this is how they did this? If this actually aired as the season finale last season, or like amping up to the end of that arc? You'd be like, "What the fuck? This is nothing."
They did it exactly like this. It'd be pretty bad.
Nothing really matters. Anyone can see.
So the Guardian says that in order to prevent this, they need to seal the door into this room. But if they do that, it's permanent. They can't seek her guidance, they can't power the command center or portal, and it will end this stupid season. No, please don't do that.
Yeah, what a loss. Oh no. And they
wrap
say,
up season 2.
Maggie says like the silliest shit. She's like, oh, that would mean we can go portal and save witches. Like, what show have you been watching, Maggie? I don't see you doing that.
Does this mean by the end of the episode, like, well, no, I was going to say the power center wouldn't be commanded, but the command center wouldn't be powered. Like, switch the words.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be powered, but it was powered at the end, even though all the black amber was like sucked up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or was this touched?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's just if you seal the door, you can mess with the black amber. One of the things the Guardian said too, like, annoyed me because she goes like, if a human touches it, it'll mess up the black amber. The charmed ones are human. They're witches, but they're still human. Like, being magical does not change what race they are.
Yeah, I don't really understand. Yeah, they did that on Old Charm too, where they would refer to like humans as mortals or something. It's like, well, witches aren't immortal. Like, that didn't make any sense either. And like, witches aren't a different species.
Yeah, they're still of the human race.
Yeah, they should have said muggles. Come on. If a muggle touches this.
Muggle?
Muggle Aunt Viv.
I mean, Aunt Viv was filled with magic by the time she touched it anyway. So, like, why wouldn't she count as a magical being?
I don't know.
I mean, like, if a witch counts...
Yeah, she was using magic, but, well, witches have magic. She was, like, using it with a device.
Witches can have it taken away, too, apparently, and then just be filthy muggles.
I have no idea how this logic is supposed to work.
It's like, well, yours is artificial, so that doesn't count. And like, why was that how the stupid crap would work anyway? The stupid magic tar. It's like, oh no, someone touched me. Like, what a dumb system.
Yeah, it's stupid. I feel like this was not the story that they were going with.
I hope not.
Season. I feel like they had a completely different plan and they just had like 5 minutes to come up with something new.
This still shouldn't have been the backup plan either, because it makes no sense.
No, it could have been, I mean, we don't want their power of 3 to be taken away again, but it could have been something like, you know, if you messed with the power of 3, like the balance of good and evil is upset or something, or like some other reason why she disrupts magic. They didn't really... I don't know. I don't know what drunk old Celeste and Jimmy was going to have to do with anything. Like, clearly those plots were going to go somewhere else. And like,
who knows?
Maggie has a panic attack and faints. Then we have a scene with Aunt Viv talking to some businessmen that are looking to buy something.
I always feel like Aunt Viv is watching me.
They're supposed to be helping investing in her magic schemes or something like that about the power glove. And he's like, I haven't seen any results. I want to see results. She goes, yeah, but I got results. They're so bad. And she puts on the power glove.
She has a power glove. I wrote a literal power glove because it sucks powers out. That was what was in the briefcase at the end of the last episode. It's the prism. I don't know why it's called the prism. It's not a prism. It's a glove that she puts on that can suck powers out so that she can use them.
Suck.
But, like, I don't understand who these businessmen were because unless they were just investing in this glove, but, like, she starts petrifying this guy.
Yeah.
Like, turning him into stone to, like, or whatever she was doing. Like, she's doing something that's killing him, and she's like, we only need one hand to write a check. It's like, what? Does he still need to write a check, or is their business done?
Well, supposedly, yeah. I don't know why else she would have him here and talk to him at all if she didn't want him to put money into this.
But why? All she has to do is take the glove and steal the black amber, which is what she goes and does.
Yeah, like, the scene doesn't make sense either way you look at it.
Why does she wait until near the end of the episode to do this anyway? All she needs is the glove, which she has, and then she decides she's going to go do that thing she was going to do.
Because she just remembered she could do it, apparently.
It seemed like there was no other phase to that plan. Get glove, touch amber.
Yeah, get glove, use it.
And she had this whole episode where she just dinks around until she's like, oh yeah, I guess I'll do that.
I've already sucked up all these powers with this glove anyway. But yeah, like
maybe she was waiting to, like, suck some of Macy's powers. Is that what she did before? Like, that's how she was able to blast them away and, like, get in there at the end?
I don't know.
Because she was, like, touching her head.
Sense. Yeah, but she got the location of the bunker and stuff from her. Yeah, it's like either this guy's apparently pointless, but if she does want him for money for some reason, I don't know what, half petrifying him and then stopping, so he's like, oh, I'm out of here. And then clearly not going to pput money into it. Like, what did this accomplish?
I don't know. I don't know what she needed this guy for, because they clearly had a lot of money and investors anyway. Like, she just made this? Is that what...
I don't know.
She got it, like, she made a non-magical thing that sucks magic out, but she needed an investor for it?
Suck!
I don't know. Like, either it was pointless for her to invite him in the first place, or it was stupid of her to half petrify him so that he wouldn't put money into it.
What did she tell this guy? He doesn't seem to think magic is real, or at least he's wondering about the results of this thing. And then, like, it's like, hey, I need some money for this power glove. It's gonna suck magic out of things, and I've got some, like, creatures and stuff captured. No, we don't have any proof that this thing works. So can you hand over, like, $1 million? Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess they've done some magical things anyway, so he must have seen some of that.
I guess. Did they change the whole thing with the black amber to that drug so that they could throw in this, if a human touches black amber, then it fucks stuff up? Because they were like, shit, she already touched it when she gave it to Rosemary. Let's just say it wasn't that.
I don't know what the rules with that are. Apparently it only matters if they touch it in the pool in the tree room. I'm not sure.
This is stupid. And can anyone in the audience suss out any of this? Did anyone follow what's going on? Okay, so there's the scene with the power glove, and Nadia is there. That was the lady that was heading the faction, I believe. Yeah. She asks Aunt Viv about CarMan. She's like, what about CarMan? And she's like, he's missing. He might have switched sides, so fuck him. Whatever, I don't care about CarMan anymore.
There's a carman waiting in his car.
Next we see Jordan in the woods. This is Jordan's great plot. Jordan in the woods.
That's essentially the entire plot. Jordan in the woods.
Jordan in the woods. He's looking for Abigail's sister, presumably, or something. He's trying to get some pouch for her that helps her find her sister or something.
It's like the Pulp Fiction briefcase, like you're mentioning last time, but this time it's in pouch form, and like it's even like the golden glow out of this pouch. Even you see him open it, it's like, oh, he's like, wow, I did it, whatever this means.
Pouch fiction.
Yeah, pouch fiction.
Yeah, so he wanders over and sees some dilapidated house. Presumably that's where he gets the pouch. I don't know. They act like that means something and never tell us what that's about.
No, that's really his entire plot.
Mel and Maggie are at the Safe Space Cafe talking about Maggie's panic attack. Mel's like, hey, you gotta, like, keep it together, and gives, like, a little pep talk to her. And Maggie says, how are you everyone's rock all the time?
I guess we're supposed to forget, just last episode where Mel was falling apart.
I'm in need of a guilt remover spell.
Who's falling apart this episode? I don't know. Whoever we need to at the moment. Mel is the rock now. Do you smell what Mel is cooking? She was getting chefy with it. Macy and Harry are in the attic. Macy gets a call from CarMan, who is disguised as Nadia. Dun, 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 dun.
Whoa, he's in disguise as Buggy Woman.
As Buggy Woman?
Yeah, that's her alias.
Buggy Woman? What?
Yeah, as in the vehicle, a buggy.
Oh, I see. I'm stupid. I get it now. She's Buggy Woman. Alright, so he's disguised as Buggy Woman. And, he tells them all about Aunt Viv's cool power glove. He's like, hey, watch out for this. She's got all the cheat codes. She's got the game genie. Things aren't going great.
But it's hard to control anything with that power glove, even if you're cheating.
She's trying duck hunt and it's not working.
Duck hunt? What an idiot. That's not going to work with a power glove. Aunt Viv, you're the worst.
Ha ha ha, I'm the conqueror. All right, Aunt Viv. I'm a stiletto in a room full of flats.
Go about as well as her plan did in this episode.
Holy shit, this fell apart so fast. He says that Aunt Viv only has enough power for one working device, so she needs to get to the magic tree, power up her power glove. Macy's like, hey, maybe we should go destroy that dam. He says Aunt Viv has installed a perimeter with magic detectors. Does not explain how he got in with the magic spell on him. I would think that would be magic that would not let you in.
You'd think, yeah. But it's like a magic force field surrounding their complex.
Yeah, like if they run at it, it's just going to bounce you back.
Yeah, and if Harry tries to orb into it, it bounces him back. So I guess that's why he tries to orb into it when he's beside it, because I don't know, if he orbed from far away, would it bounce him further?
I don't know.
Like you just see him try to orb from the bunker and then just boing, he goes flying through the air. Looks like Harry's blasting off again.
I wish they'd shown that. They explain what happened to Nadia because CarMan's worried that if she might come back and ruin the whole thing, which you'd think he would have asked about beforehand. But they say that they took care of her. And they do a flashback. Harry is posing as Jimmy, meets up with Nadia, and they kidnap her, use a potion on her to make her forget the faction ever existed, and orb her across the world? What the fuck?
Why are these actions of the heroes?
What the fuck is wrong with our heroes?
We just keep drugging people magically. It's okay if it's magic drugging people and then like dumping them in different areas around the world.
They're like, by the time she remembers how to get home, all this will probably be over. What?
This is like a violation of people's minds. Like, yeah.
They've been doing this through the whole show now, just constant mind wipes and shit. Yikes.
Ugh. They're terrible.
They also explain that CarMan's disguise only lasts for a few hours at most, so he needs to get that power glove. First of all, why didn't he ask how long it lasts beforehand? Secondly, a few hours is like no time at all.
Yeah.
Like that meeting could have taken longer than 3 hours for all he knew.
You'd think it would have, honestly.
So Harry and Macy go downstairs so they can argue about whether they can trust CarMan. They just go there so that Mel and Maggie can hear them and pipe in.
Yeah.
I don't know why they go downstairs otherwise. They're like, well, we need a backup plan in case things don't go well with CarMan. We need to figure out what to do. So they're like, well, Harry, you orb on over there and figure out if this perimeter is even real. And if it is, then we got to figure out if we can deactivate it. Macy's like, hey, Harry, quick, before you go... Here's one of those scarabs from the Mummy.
I was thinking, like, because they go inside each other's ears, and you get a nice close-up of this going in his ear, so I was thinking, like, Star Trek 2.
Does not warn him, just gives him this bug. Yeah.
I was thinking of those eels in Star Trek 2 that go inside the ear of, like, Chekhov. It's, Like, that's what I was expecting Harry to do when this crawled inside his ear.
Why wouldn't you give someone a heads up about that? You're gonna have bugs and shit crawling in their ears, and all it is just like a fancy headset so that they don't have to actually be wearing headsets. So they can talk to each other. Though I don't know, they don't talk to each other that much. I don't know. I feel like they could also just like call him and be like, Harry, and then he orbs over and then leaves, and then Harry, and then orbs over and then leaves. Because it was easier.
It's like, because once they get this perimeter shield down, it's like they can't get him out till they drop it again or whatever. So I don't think they can contact him while he's in there unless...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But I don't know why this magic signal with these magic earbuds would work, but whatever. We're saying that works for some reason.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. It's like, well, that's magic then.
Yeah.
So
that's magic going past the perimeter of this force field. If you want to say magic works within it, it still has to go past that force field.
They have one of a few like talks they've thrown in as like red herrings in this episode to like be the talk that's like the goodbye talk or like the oh no, you know, they're gonna die. And Macy is like, oh, Harry, we're gonna talk about this relationship thing later after you get back. And I thought for sure that meant he was gonna die. I was like, oh, so Harry's just gonna die then. Like it just seemed like one of those like, yeah, we'll talk later. Because I don't know if it necessarily would have been permanent, but I wouldn't put it past them to like kill him off and then bring it back. They already did, technically. I guess they threw him in Tartarus for a little bit.
I mean, there was a more likely candidate for death in this episode, and that's who they went with.
That's true. I felt like a dummy when it was like more obvious it was going to be him, because I'm like, oh, like, a fucking course. But then why would that be the big buildup? Like, okay.
Because they're not going to give you a real thing.
Even the main characters don't give a shit.
No.
They're like, oh, all right. Kind of a letdown from that premonition, Maggie. I really thought it was going to be someone important. Why'd you even bother telling us?
You must be kidding, aren't you?
So CarMan is at the dam, and he grabs that briefcase, but when he opens it, the prism is gone! Aunt Viv's there with her power glove.
Suck. Suck. Suck.
And he goes, no, I'm CarMan! No! And Viv's like, oh, you're CarMan, are you? I mean, I'm not CarMan.
Revs up his engine. Really? Because that kind of sounds like CarMan.
You got a red light, Aunt Viv!
Ticket! He tries to save the moment. Like, he's like, haha, the charmed ones are coming for this, so we need to stop them, and I have a plan. We see Harry at the dam, testing out the force field. Of course, it is there, and he can't get in, so he messages Macy. Macy tells Maggie and Mel about it, and they're wondering why they haven't heard from CarMan. And they say, hey, stand by, Harry, while we figure out how to break in. And they find a Turn the Tide spell that they can use to reverse the force field temporarily and let someone in, but they need this special crystal to do it. Maggie is having sort of a crisis through this episode. She's like, well, what's going to happen if I have like another panic attack when it matters or something? Like someone's going to get hurt, which is okay. I feel like this is fine. I just wish the episode around it meant anything.
I feel like it's a little slapdash included in this, and also they're just including it when it feels like they remember it, because You think it might have come up last episode with all those going on, Mel breaking down,
Yeah.
her accidentally giving people feelings and altering their minds all the time. That could bring a bit of panic to you, I would think.
I don't think this relates to the Maggie panic attack stuff, but some of this stuff, and I don't know if it's from the first 4 episodes or just from the last one, was filmed last season, and they just couldn't wrap up the storyline, so they're using it here now. So I'm kind of curious what parts are like remnants of what they were doing and what parts are the hastily pieced together, let's wrap this up pieces.
Yeah.
We see Jordan in the Pulp Fiction pouch. That seems pointless. His story was very boring this week. Maggie asks him how he kept it together in Afghanistan, and he says to breathe and stay in the moment, and that's what helps. That's what helps her keep it together. Later in the episode, inspired by Jordan.
Yeah, and his trying to get her off the phone speech.
Can you hang up, please? Whatever. Mel goes to meet with Ruby, because that was her bartender girlfriend, Ruby.
Yeah, you probably forgot her.
Yeah, for people who don't remember, that was her bartender girlfriend. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. I think they were off at the moment. Yeah. Whatever. She meets up with her because she has this crystal that they need for the spell, which isn't really that rare of a crystal. She just wants to meet up with her. She tells her all about this, like, non-magical magical army or whatever that's being formed, and she goes, damn.
Yeah. It's like such a non-reaction.
Oh, army, huh? Damn.
That sounds like it sucks. Good luck with that.
I'm so sick of seeing people sitting at tables discussing things. This feels like this has been so fucking much of the show. Please have people do other stage business. I'm begging you, please.
Why do they keep having discussions about magic stuff in the middle of safe space? Like, they're so stupid.
Boring.
It's boring and it's stupid from their perspective. It's like, let's talk about the secretive stuff in this public place.
Yeah. Hope nobody hears us. Talking about that magical army.
So you got that magic crystal? Because, that army of magic things is coming and the power glove.
It's just, I feel like everything we saw in this episode is just like scenes we've seen throughout the last season in these 2 episodes of season 3. It's just like someone's in the attic, someone's in safe space, someone's at a table, someone's doing that, and they're all just discussing the same sorts of things. Yeah. Nothing here was new. The whole Ruby relationship with Mel wasn't anything new added to it. The whole Maggie panic attack stuff wasn't new.
No, and I hate when they do stuff like this, when they include a character like Ruby here. It's like, you tell them this big thing's happening, they should feel like they want to get involved or something, but it always just seems like, oh, cool, well, you main characters have fun with that. I'm not invested.
She does ask about coming with her at the end of the scene, but it's kind of a half-hearted,
but they should do it, not just
it feels like they're like, well, I don't really think the world's in trouble, I'm just a side character on the show, I don't really care.
Yeah. It's like, other witches never do anything, it feels like.
Yeah, that's true, especially when it's another witch. Well, after she says that, and then she's like, there's a non-magical, magical army, whatever, coming, and damn, then Galvin came out of the garbage can and said, whoa, that is wild.
Wow. That's what happens when CarMan gets glamour, too. He goes, whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Huh.
Whoa.
Whoa. I was like an antagonist last season, like I was a main character. Now it's like, whatever.
Yeah, it's like,
who cares? Yeah. You think like Eric Balfour, he didn't want to sign on for that much, so they had him for a few days, and they're like, let's just get it over with, whatever.
Yeah, apparently, because they barely have him in this episode.
I wonder if the whole disguised as Nadia thing was something they had planned to do, or they were just like, we don't have him for that long, so let's kind of come up with this infiltration thing and then just have him be him at the end.
Yeah, because honestly, if you changed it just a little bit, it could just be him as CarMan infiltrating the place.
CarMan's last stand.
When it cuts back to Carman and Viv, he's still standing there, and she's like, what was the plan? He's like, I have no plan.
No, here she decides to test him, right? She tests Nadia, like, I'm gonna ask questions only Nadia would know. You remember that one conference we went to or whatever? What hotel did we stay at? And he's like, oh yeah, the hotel you always stay at. She's like, yeah, well, you didn't come with me on that trip. Dun dun dun.
Well, I was puttering around in neutral.
I love you, Thelma. I love you, Louise. And then he drives off a cliff. He's like, hey, you know what? I feel like we kind of went off the rails here. We were trying to help people, but then we got into all this murdering stuff, and I feel like maybe this is kind of off the plan that we had.
And then she's like, oh, I know who you are. Lucy.
Betches, I'm back. I stole all the skinny marks. Yeah, she figures out it's Carman pretty quickly, and he's like, yeah, I know you lied about my sister. Aunt Viv turns into Kristen Wiig in Wonder Woman 84, and she's like, humans need to be the apex predator.
Yeah. He's like, so you want to be a cat?
Yes, that's what this 2-hour plus movie was all leading up to. I always wanted to be a furry in Cats 2019. Carman, no, he has a brilliant plan. Here's what he does. He says, I'm shutting this project down.
I'm taking the key out of the ignition.
I'm hot wiring the car and I'm taking it for my own. And Aunt Viv's like, no, and just turns the power glove on him because, like, what the fuck was that plan?
Yeah.
Like, she's just gonna be like, oh, damn, he said he's shutting it down.
He goes, wow, again, I had no plan. So, you think there's going to be some twist with this, but spoiler, there is no twist.
Yeah, there is no twist. Carman fucking dies. It's just Carman. Come on.
This is like, you know, like the death of Superman, the death of Carman. You know, imagine that cover. The death of Carman.
Can someone please do a fan art of this Death of Superman cover, but it's Carman?
The death of Carman. Like, man, everyone's gonna be like mourning this. Like, Carman died.
Not Carman. I'm a little bit sad because the Carman jokes, well, that's all we got at this point.
It's the only thing getting us through.
We don't have much left in the tank, you know, and then Carman gets taken away. What do you leave us with?
Like the sad version of the Carman theme. There was a Carman waiting in his car.
Then his engine died.
Hello, folks. I'd like to tell you a little story about a man I used to know. Well, not a man in some ways, but, well, you see, there's a man waiting in his car. He'd like to come and meet us, but he's dead and just a car. There's a man waiting in his car. He'd like to come and meet us, but he's dead and just a car. There's a car.
Based on a real song, true story.
Oh my god. I don't want to be mean to this person,
no,
okay? It was very
joking.
Someone in the comments didn't know Carman was based on a real song, and they heard Starman in the store, and they were very excited.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Carman was there.
Heard the Carman version first.
I love that Carman is their introduction to David Bowie.
Yeah.
Your comment really, I enjoyed your comment, so don't feel too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Charmed Ones cast their little force field spell, and it's open long enough to let Harry in. He's inside the dam, and some guards with no peripheral vision pass right by him.
That was ridiculous. Like, he's not hidden at all. It's just someone standing by a wall, and if you walk
a blank
by,
wall. There's not even any like plants or anything nearby. You might think like, oh, that's just an object in the side. I'm not going to check it out.
No, you would clearly see someone standing there if you walked by that area.
And if you're a guard, like, what the hell are you doing? Shouldn't you just be like, look both ways and then pass by the hall?
You wouldn't even have to turn your head to notice that.
No, it's failure on all fronts for these guys. Vivian should have put some of that money put into the power glove into getting some better guards.
We're not paid enough to pay attention to stuff in our peripheral.
Real stormtroopers there. Harry goes into a plastic sheet covered room and hacks into the system.
He's elite hacksaws.
He finds out that they've killed all the creatures, so they don't need to do effects or have other actors. They're just all gone.
Another win for the Charmed Ones. Saved again.
Saved.
Yeah. Pathetic. And, do they act upset at all about this, even though they've been going on like, oh, those creatures, they're so important. Yeah, they're all dead. Oh, well.
They don't care about anyone dying. And not a single tear is shed. They're scared that someone might die, and they have these kind of heart-wrenching scenes, like with Ruby and Mel. They do another fake out, like, this isn't goodbye, we'll talk later, as if we thought Mel was gonna die.
Yeah, they're only concerned that someone, immediately close to them
they're
die.
like, we kind of thought it would be someone important who died. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
He explains over the headset, Aunt Viv has drained all of these creatures, that's why they're dead. And I forget who says it, I think Macy. She says, she's more powerful than we ever imagined. She's become more powerful than we could ever imagine.
Yeah, I mean, just wait for the end of this episode. You'll see her power. It's amazing.
Oh my god. It's almost anticlimactic. To quote 3 times on Original Charmed the same line. They open the force field again, so Macy can portal over there and help.
Yeah.
Forget why they need her to go there again. Is it because Harry just needs help? She's worried that he's gonna die. I think that's it. She's just worried.
She's worried he's gonna die, and also because they thought they were gonna be able to get the glove, but now they know she's using it, and she's got all those powers. So that's why she goes. Right.
Okay. So the other two are trying to keep the force field open and keep this going, but it's draining them because they don't have all 3 of them. Mel has a bloody nose and she passes out. So Maggie, after imagining the inspiring words from Jordan,
said, "Just do it.
Just do it."
That's copyright Jordan.
What would I call him last season? Mortimer Muffins or something?
Yeah.
Mortimer Muffins, great words.
Was that his ancestor or him?
It was his ancestor, but I feel like I called him Mortimer Muffins too. Or I called him something else, like George or Binks. I think you called him George or Binks. So she's trying to keep this force field open. During the commercial break, I guess Macy met up with Harry. There's no hey Harry. It's just she's there with him. They find CarMan dying. Things didn't really work out for him.
Yeah. He's still under the guise of Buggy Woman, but he's talking with his voice.
Yeah, he's talking with his voice, and his the spell's wearing off, I guess, and then between cuts he's become him again so they can do less effects.
Yeah, but he turns back into, actual Eric Balfour as he's dead.
Yeah, basically for 2 seconds of life before...
Yeah.
Yeah, what's great about this, okay, so they find him dying on the ground, and then Macy is I gotta find Aunt Viv, she's got the power glove, and then she leaves, and 2 seconds later, this is not hyperbole, this is not exaggeration, 2 seconds later he dies.
Yeah. She
could have stayed there for 2 more seconds to see what would happen, and also, why doesn't Harry go after her to help her? He sees, she's barely out of the room, and he's dead, and then Harry's just oh, she's got this, going after Aunt Viv, it's fine.
Yeah, so he kind of puts his hand up to try and heal him, he dies, and then he just shrugs and stands there.
Was it supposed to be he lifts his hand and then he puts it down. Was this like he knew he was too far gone, or was this supposed to be like he decides not to heal him and then he dies?
No, I think he's just about to die. That's why he couldn't do anything.
Okay. I wasn't sure if they were trying to be ambiguous about it.
I didn't get that from that, but who knows?
Okay. Well, unless it comes up again, I guess we'll just assume that was what they were going for.
Mm-hmm.
Macy goes out into the hallway and she sees Aunt Viv and she goes, "Hello, Sellers."
Yeah.
"Hello, Macy."
She's like, "Aunt Viv, what are we doing here so early?" "I gotta get those WWF dog tags. You can only get them at Sellers."
It turns into that one scene from Morality Bites. You know, in Original Charmed, like when the future where Phoebe killed that guy, that baseball player, she grabs him by the head and starts killing him.
Right.
That's what it reminded me of there. Aunt Viv grabs Macy by the head. She's like, I don't know if she's draining her powers or if she's just thinking about it.
Well, I think
and holding her there. She seems to be hurting in some way, so maybe.
All I think she was doing was sucking out information about the base.
Suck.
Because like as she does this, she gets flashes of where the magic tree and tower's at in the bunker. So I think that's what she got.
She says, "I got 2 words for you, Macy. Suck it." She's holding her head like she's gonna kill her and drain all her powers, and then she's like, yeah, and she could very easily. Nothing stops her. She just says, "You're gonna pay the price," and then leaves.
Yeah,
like why didn't
she
kill
can
him?
teleport now? Like she didn't get that power from Macy because Macy can't teleport like that.
I don't know. Is that part of her demon power she hasn't unlocked yet or something?
She doesn't have those anymore.
Oh, right. They got taken away by Abigail. You remember the show better than I do. Yeah, I don't know. I guess she got it from one of the creatures or something.
Yeah, I guess so. Aunt Viv is lucky, though, that they were currently turning off her little force field. Otherwise, she'd just bounce off it, wouldn't she?
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. Like, she's like,
smack right back into the floor. Ugh. Don't mention this to anyone.
Maybe this... I don't know if the intent with this was she was waiting for them so she could drain or get some powers from them so that she could find... Like, she finds out where the bunker is from her, right? Because of her...
Yeah, that's what she was doing. That
yeah, so that's why it took her so long. So it's not why she blasted them away and all that. That's just...
It was just her entrance.
That's just her entrance. Okay, while her entrance theme played.
Yeah. Her pyro.
Macy walks in on Harry and CarMan. And he's like, he died. And she goes like, damn, another boyfriend bites the dust.
Aw, shucks.
Macy, not 2 for 2 here. Not having a great track record with her boyfriends.
She's like, could we like change his oil or anything? And Harry's like, well, the nearest garage is like 5 miles away. She's like, all right, let's just go home.
You know, the cost of the repair is going to be more than the car's worth, so...
Yeah. All right.
Junk him.
It needs a lot of body work at this point anyway. Just like rocks in the engine.
Phelan, I think we should sing a CarMan for him to send him off.
Sing a CarMan.
There's a CarMan waiting in his car. He'd like to come and meet us, but he's just a fucking car. Peter can probably make that sort of sync up. R.I.P. CarMan. You were a car, you were a man.
You were a car, you were a star.
50% car, 50% man, 100% our hero.
Mm-hmm. And then his sister flatlines.
Yeah, we're never gonna find out what fucking... She's dead.
Yeah, they're not coming back to that.
You know, that actress is probably like, I had a storyline and everything, and that's all we did.
I woke up and then they said, oh yeah, it wasn't really magic, it's just some drugs did it.
This sucks. This went from suck to blow. All right, so Macy and Harry portal back to the bunker. They do not care that Carman died.
No.
Harry heals Mel and Macy tells them about Carman dying. And then they're like, well, anyway, hey, Maggie held that force field spell. Pretty badass, Mags.
That's like comedy levels of like not caring. Like,
pretty badass, Mags.
Like, how do you write that? You're like, hey, that guy died. LOL. Anyway, cool. Keeping that force field down, Maggie.
This is like a Maggie empowerment moment. Like, yeah, I overcame my fears.
Like, you really would see us in a comedy, like, oh, let's have a sad moment. Anyway.
I love it. That's a direct quote. Pretty badass, Max.
Yeah, badass.
Stupid. So that was the payoff to the someone's gonna die. The title of the episode, the whole lead up with the premonition and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Carman. Unless
Carman.
there's some other payoff later in this arc that was supposed to be. I don't think so. I think it was just they're like, huh? That's something, right, audience? Carman? Huh?
Carman. Huh? You're all invested in that, right? Right? Huh?
Huh? Yeah? Is this anything? They go to seal off the magic tree room because they know Aunt Viv's on the way. But she shows up and blasts their asses away. She touches the well, sucks up the black amber powers. Our heroes have saved the day once again. But then she comes out and she's super Shredder Aunt Viv.
Yeah. She's being played by Kevin Nash.
Yeah. I feel like if she died under a pier, it would be a more dignified and cool thing that they do than they do in this episode.
Yeah. The pier thing is better than what they did in this.
She's super Shredder. She's ready to fight. She's like a drag queen stiletto in a room full of normal ass stilettos.
Babies! You're nothing but babies!
Babies! Yeah, they tried the power of 3 on her and she sucks it up. Suck. And one of them, I forget which one, is just like, yeah, just keep going. Yeah, Maggie.
Yeah.
She's like, just keep going. Just do it. She's not listening to them.
Yeah.
She's like, ha, 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 the power, unlimited power.
Yeah. I love sucking. Yeah. This is a thing that's done so often. You know, it's just like, oh, it's absorbing the power. Let's give it a lot of power then. Like,
how'd they know that was going to work? How?
She didn't.
What if she'd just been overpowered and destroyed the world? They'd be like, good going, Maggie, you idiot.
Yeah, I wish that's what happened, really. You timed it, right?
I did time it. Yeah, okay. So they do say later that one person can't hold the power of 3. Maybe she thought that was what they were banking on. But okay, so they overload the power glove. She starts cracking and she explodes.
Yeah,
this
she
is
goes
the end
from
of Aunt
suck
Viv.
to blow.
She goes from suck to blow.
Like, quite literally.
She explodes into Leo chunklets, okay?
Yeah.
And I was like, that can't be fucking it. I went back and we timed it. The entire fight lasts 47 seconds.
Yeah. Like, not even a minute.
47 seconds!
Yeah, less than a minute for your main villain of this storyline.
The fuck are you doing, Charmed? That sucked so bad. We were like, really? That's the Conqueror? That's the end of the Conqueror? She didn't conquer shit.
It's like the 3 of them. They don't even have to move after they start shooting. They're just standing there shooting their little Charmed power 3 blast into her power glove.
This is lazier than Piper's powers.
It's about on par with that.
Holy shit. Oh, they explode her after the 47-second battle, and then Harry goes, well done.
Yeah.
As in, she's well done.
Then they all go, are we forgetting anything? Nope. I think nothing else was told to us by any guardian or anything. Hey, should we go in that room and check maybe the Black Amber set? Nah, we're good. Let's go hang out at safe space. All's well on the idiot front.
What? they're so stupid. They act like it's all. They actually say it's over. Ha ha ha. Like it's over. Nothing bad's gonna happen today.
Like they know she went in there. They know she touched the stupid black.
Yeah, they know
amber
that's why she
crap.
was like super Aunt Viv, Cruella de Viv. But they're like, oh well, I guess everything's good.
Nothing bad's gonna happen today. Let's have a barbecue.
Let's have a barbecue. Nothing bad's gonna happen today. And so they're like, well, let's start wrapping it up, right? Cue the sad indie song. So a sad indie song starts playing.
Yeah, that's when the news comes on, and they're like, "Oh, millionaire CarMan died today. Also, yes, he was secretly CarMan the whole time, but we all knew that." And P.S. His aunt died.
They were like, oh, sad news that CarMan has died. Everyone will love and miss him. Oh, and also, by the way, I guess his aunt and his business partner died too. Like,
Yeah.
she was equally important in the business with him if you're talking about, like, who's noteworthy.
She's
But,
also,
like,
a
I don't
rich,
know. I guess she died,
prominent
too.
person. Like, can you imagine two rich, prominent people die, and they just announce one of them? They're like, oh yeah, P.S. another one died too.
Yeah, like, I feel like it would be more add to the tragedy of CarMan's end there if his aunt got the same importance and memorial that he did, because no one knew she was bad. So it's like both of them like, oh, sad news that this family has died and their legacy will live on or whatever, and be like, oh yeah, no one really knew she was like a piece of shit.
Yeah. What did they say? They just said it was an accident. Did the charm ones like rig it up to look like an accident? Like, what'd they do for Aunt Viv? Like, how'd they discover anything?
Yeah, they just find chunklets, right? Like, they
Yeah.
would, like, just write a note with CarMan and then, like, a jar full of remains and be like, Aunt Viv.
Yeah.
Jar.
Like, they must have rigged some evidence.
Some accident, huh? Some accident that was.
Some accident. Like,
Wasn't that like wasn't that a storyline in season 1 with the elders? Like they covered up that cop's death, Nico's partner, by like saying like they made it look like an accident or something, even though it was magic, and they thought it was all this like morally gray thing. Like, oh my god, I can't believe now we got to lie to Nico, and now it's just like, well, I don't know, how are we gonna explain these chunklets? I don't know.
they don't
Magic
care
people.
about anything anymore. It would have been way better if it's like, it looks like it was murder. And like, it could come back on them and they had to be worried about that.
Yep. Oh well, we gotta wrap all this up. Season 2 has overstayed its welcome. Maggie has on like a sweet pink star shirt with that buttons up in the front. Pretty nifty. Just saying. Harry talks to Macy and her awesome ponytail. She's got like the ponytail with the little holders in it and the little puffs. I like Macy's hair this season. He asks if she needs some time. and then you called what the line was gonna be.
Yeah, she goes, I need some time alone with you.
And that's what she said.
Yeah. But she
did not care about CarMan. Like, I don't know, let's go to Bone Town. let's bone down and do the monster mash, Harry, whatever.
We could even do it on his grave. What do you think?
All right, let's do it.
Macy, are you going to give me an oil change?
What the? Hey, Harry, do you care about being whole again with your whole Jimmy thing? Who gives a fuck? Alright.
He's good and roofied somewhere in England. You don't have to worry about that ever again.
Oh well, can we forget season 2 happened?
Nothing really matters. Anyone can see.
Maggie meets with Jordan, and he shows her the pouch he got, tells her about Abigail wanting to help him with his curse if she helps him, or if he helps her find her sister. Jordan is so incredibly boring this episode. I don't know what it was, but he seemed really checked out.
It was barely a plot.
Like, his line delivery sounded very checked out. I don't know if that was just because it was a more serious plot. I feel like he was more lively before.
Yeah, he has been. I don't know.
Maybe COVID's messing with him. I don't know.
Maybe.
Everything can't be COVID. I don't know. He just seemed like he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He says he doesn't want to be a burden on Maggie. That's why he hasn't really been talking to her that much. But she also said, like, to stay away and get gone for a bit. So he was doing what she said.
Yeah.
Mel and Ruby are talking at the Safe Space bar, and they almost make out. But then Ruby coughs up some smoke.
Were we forgetting anything? I don't think so. No. It couldn't have been that thing about the tree and the tar.
They take her to the bunker, and Harry tries to heal her, and they notice that Dora's magic map is just lit up all red.
Mm-hmm.
All of magic is fucked up because guess what? That thing that they were told was going to happen happened.
Yeah, witches and demons.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's when they wander in the next room with the door still left open. Like they keep this thing under wraps well, don't they?
Yeah, whatever. They go and see that the magic tree is dying.
Yeah. Like this is all they had to do right after the Viv fight to know this was bad, to go in that room and
Because
look.
they didn't know how to do all these other wrap-up scenes, and they wanted to do those before they had the big cliffhanger.
But you make your main characters look so stupid.
Yeah. Maggie is like, it's not over. And I just wrote, they're so dumb.
And they're treating the audience like they're as dumb as they are to act like this is a twist. Because it was told to us. We knew. We're not this dumb. We aren't like, what?
That's the big cliffhanger. And that's the end of the episode. It's not over, Phelan.
It's over.
It's over.
They killed Carman. I don't care anymore.
Phelan, who's the Margoyle?
Carman.
Yeah?
Yep.
Well, what's your reasoning, Phelan? Why is he the standout loser?
Because he barely got to appear in this episode where they killed him off. He was glamored as Bucky Woman most of the time. He had no plan whatsoever. Aunt Viv questions him on one thing and he falls apart and then just easily gets dispatched off screen. Pathetic.
Well, I was kind of torn because I'm like, I don't know, standout loser isn't necessarily the dumbest, because clearly the dumbest were the charmed ones. But I have to agree with you, Carman is my standout loser. Nobody cared that he died, except maybe that news anchor.
Yeah.
He barely showed up.
We'll never forget news anchor woman, the one who gave a shit. This was after all of that lead up in the episode too. Once they found out, it was like they were all like, I thought it was going to be someone important.
they felt like the audience did. Yeah, the rest of us were kind of like, with them. So it's like, all right.
You're right. Someone did die, Carman. Oh, that's a relief.
Yeah, I'm glad Carman squeaked in one Margoyle before heading up the highway to heaven. Carman, we knew you too much.
And now we're just stuck with George Binks.
Mortimer Muffins himself. Phelan, what'd you think of this episode?
Pathetic.
Pathetic.
It was like we said at the beginning, quickly just sweeping stuff under the table. Obviously rushed, barely any thought put into it. You make everyone look like an idiot for this. Like, the main characters look extremely stupid. The main villain looks extremely stupid. The extra characters like Carman look extremely stupid, getting dispatched very easily. And George Binks is in it for very little reason other than to get a pouch. Like, why? Everyone looks dumb. You did a bad job.
Well, yeah, I pretty much agree with all that. It went from suck to blow. I don't know. This wasn't good. this wasn't good. I laughed at some of it, but this was really pathetic. It was like, this would be a tough one to rewatch too, and I know I'm gonna have to whenever I cover these in videos. Yeah, it's just wrapping things up. This arc cannot be done. This arc can't be done fast enough. I'm done with it.
And just a final battle that's less than a minute. Like, even if you want to wrap this thing up quick, if you go, our final battle with the main antagonist of the story is going to be less than a minute. Like,
yeah,
you need to rethink what you're doing here. Like,
you need to make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
And also, like, you can turn a really shitty storyline into a good payoff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can still at least try at the finish line.
Yeah. You know, otherwise it makes the entire last season pointless, because a lot of that was leading up to this Conqueror thing, and then that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what were we even, like, people who were invested, is that a good payoff?
Is about as good as, like, that Smallville crap where they have all those seasons of, oh, we can control Clark with this stuff, and then, oh, the control was taking my powers away, which happens half the time when he sneezes.
It's like, I understand, like, when you have to really quickly wrap things up, sometimes you just have to say, like, forget that, sorry about that, whatever. But especially when it's the main arc of that season, and you're building up to this big bad, and then you're like, whatever, let's just do a 47-second battle. Like, it's like, who gives a shit at that point? I think, like, a good example of, like, taking something shitty, and maybe I mentioned this before, like, taking something shitty and having a good payoff for it. The pilot for Next Generation was garbage, but the series finale uses parts of that pilot, and it's excellent. So, like, you can take something really shitty and still have a good payoff, and then we'll be like, oh, well, that season sucked, but at least there was, like, a cool ending to it. But that was nothing.
Yeah.
I think they're running out of ways to have them fight with magic spells. I think they don't know what to do because they're just shooting a bunch of light beams at people. And it's like, you know, you can do all sorts of things with magic other than we need to find, like, a little side quest to find a crystal for this spell, and then we'll shoot some light beams.
Yeah. I wish they did anything like they acted like they're gonna do, like go help witches and maybe meet some other magical people. It's just like they're scared of ever doing anything like that in this show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping once these first 4 episodes are done and they're starting season 3 proper, like, clearly they are wiping some of the stuff away, and, like,
they're writing this finale. I don't have much faith in what they'll do for season 3.
I'm at least hoping they change the environment so they're not in fucking safe space all the time. And it seems like that's where it's gonna go, because there's some new character coming who's like someone who goes to Maggie's college and stuff like that, so they'll do some more stuff with the school, and that's fine. Just give them more things and a life outside of this, because like I said, I'm just bored of seeing people at tables talking about things, or like, let's talk about relationships while we make a potion. It just feels like the same scenes over and over and over again.
I'm not super excited about her going to school again, but
maybe Lucy will be there. That'd be exciting, right?
There for no reason.
I love Lucy.
Yeah.
Come on. I miss Lucy. I miss having fun in this show. There's so little, like, they sucked the fun out. Suck.
Yeah, it hurt a lot once they got rid of Galvin.
Yeah, that's a bummer about Galvin. That is not wild.
No, not wild. And like, he wasn't fun at first, but then he became fun, and then like, well, you like him, we're getting rid of him. Just, I don't know. I'm gonna be not very surprised though when we're back here at whatever storyline this proper season 3 is supposed to be, and they've wrapped something up overly quick and are doing something else again. Because that's all this show keeps doing.
Yeah, well, they're wrapping up season 2 right now, and then season 3 is going to start. I bet they are going to wrap up everything.
Yeah, we're probably going to have this quick wrap up to whatever they're doing for proper season 3 later, and they'll be like, halfway through this, we're like, we're going to change our minds. This is what's going on now for the rest of this.
We're going to have so many reboots of the show. Reboot within the reboot within the reboot. They're like, this is the charmed reboot, so you get reboots. Yeah. Yo, dog, I heard you like reboots. We put a reboot in your reboot. Well, I'm not looking forward to next week. We'll see what happens. Anything else you want to note?
No. Death of CarMan.
We salute you, Carman.
We'll do like 17 horn presses in your honor.
Press F to pay respects.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this up. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, we'd appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, or reviewed on whatever platform you're enjoying it on. You can find us in audio format at anchor.fm under Charmed Hard with a Vengeance or Charmed Rewind. You can also find us on YouTube under youtube.com/movie nights a series or Phelan stuff, youtube.com/Phelis. You can also find us on Patreon if you'd like to see projects ahead of time or take part in polls or other things like that. You can find my stuff at patreon.com/movie nights or Phelan at patreon.com/Phelis. Thanks to Peter Hunter, creator of the wonderful CarMan theme, and other such various little ditties, and editor of these podcasts. You can find him at Pretor Hunter on Twitter. What hashtags should we use, Phelan?
Hashtag death of Carman.
Hashtag death of a car salesman? Is that anything? No? I don't know. I got nothing on this one. Hashtag I got nothing.
Hashtag Maggie Fly Effect.
Maggie what?
Maggie Fly Effect.
Oh, I see. Good. Hashtag suck to blow. Alright. I got one good one. Alright, Charmanders, we'll see you guys next week. Bye!